where basically the entire game, because all the liquid tokens, all the altcoins on Binance or Bybit or BitMEX or wherever people traded were just going down or choppy. When the only game is trying to get into tokens before they launch and then just dumping immediately when they hit the market, is you start to get a compression. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say, you know, Plasma launches and you can get a 100x or 300x or whatever the airdrop farmers and the ICO people got. And then what happens is people are like, oh my God, I'm just going to rush into every new project launching, right? It's happening with Mega ETH. I think a lot of people are excited, rightfully so, about Monad. Pump Fun airdrop will do well. But if everyone is just thinking, I'm going to get into the new project and I'm going to sell it right when it comes out, you start to get a compression because every single person, like, no one is interested in buying it after it launches if everything is doing bad. And so you get a compression of returns where each incremental thing that launches just has a smaller multiple, until a point where if you're airdrop farming or getting into new projects, because people are so ready to lock in the gain, then there's almost no more gain. And we're not there yet. Like, it still makes sense to airdrop farm. It still makes sense to get into ICOs or pre-sales or whatever it is before they launch. But you are definitely seeing that compression. And I think we're going to see it in some of these next launches, even though they're hyped, like Mega ETH, Monad, like even the ones that are really, really good. I think you're going to see a smaller and smaller multiple on them. And it's going to get to a point where, like, if you airdrop farm something, or if you ICO, or if you get into a round, there will come a time where you get into it. And if you sell it immediately when it launches, maybe you catch a 2x. But, like, there's going to be a crossover where even the people that are getting into, like, the ICOs and the airdrop farms are not making money. And that's where I think that actually might be the turning point where altcoins get exciting again. But until then, it's like, it's just the only game in town. But this kind of sums up just where we are, whether you think bull market, whether you think we're already in a bear market. When the entire operation is just a farm and just selling new tokens, it can't last. That system just compresses so fast. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. That's just where we're at. All that being said, it still makes a ton of sense to be looking at new projects. It still makes a ton of sense to be airdrop farming, not trading. Like, there's no reason to be trading, buying meme coins, all that. ICOs and airdrop farming is still printing money, but I think that the money you're making is definitely getting smaller. No matter what new project, hype project you get into, it's just a compression. It's just a compression of returns. So that's like one thing I'm watching, and I think that kind of sums up what the hell's happening with all these new launches. I mean, that's like almost everything happening in the market. Like, I don't think there's that much more to even talk about. It's basically all that, right? It's literally that. And like, we just have to really see what happens when multiples compress to the point where ICOs and airdrop farms are like, maybe you make money. Because once that happens, then all the activity goes away from airdrop farming and yield farming and trying to get into ICOs. And then people are like, oh shit, I actually have to buy tokens. So maybe then they start buying Pump again. Maybe then they start buying Solana again. Maybe then they start buying, people start trading again. But until then, it's like, this is the only game. And so you run it until the game ends. But anyways, I just want to talk about that real quick. I know it's a late Friday stream, but we're just going to keep streaming every single day. I'm praying that we have a big week of shows next week on Twitter. I'm so glad that we have the Spotify and the iTunes and everything running again. And yeah, guys, this is all I got. I'm also working on a deal with a prediction market platform, so that'll be kind of nice. It'll help me like supercharge things, as they've been just taking definitely longer than I want. But that's all I got, guys. Quick little stream. I know the old videos aren't showing up. I don't know why they're rugging like that. But that's all I got. I will see y'all this weekend, and then we're gonna keep streaming all next week. Hopefully the shows are we can get some of those to Twitter. But that's all I got, guys. It's literally a farmer and an ICO market. And then we just kind of hope that like Pump has things up their sleeve. I do. I think some of those announcements, I really, really do. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a really weird, we're just in a weird spot. We're like in limbo for crypto. Plus, you got to combine that like everything else is doing so well. Stocks, AI, everything else. Like it's just not. The reason that crypto is always exciting is because it's a very good casino. And right now, it's just not the best casino. It's just not. But I think it will return. But that's just that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So we got to watch the pump news. And then hopefully that kind of describes what's happening in public markets and in private markets. That's all I got, guys. I'm going to be live this weekend. I'm praying that Pump Fund figures out some of the old videos. I'm going to comment down below so you guys know that we are still going live. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next stream. I'm going to keep working on setting up live podcasts for next week, and that's all I got. Peace. Have a good weekend.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now? Are you all in on the chair? You put on one pair of glasses, you've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. Like, you're using one microphone. That's a one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? Do you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street?